All right, welcome to Twin Terror. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And I'm coughing.
And I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not in the same room.
Yeah.
So we can keep it that way.
I'm going to give you COVID through the microphone here. Today we're going to talk about
Thomas Matthew Crooks. And
yes.
what in the world motivated this kid to think that going to a Trump rally with an AR-15 and trying to pop a cap into Trump was a good idea.
Now, it was funny. When I was in Canada, my friends Mike and Drew found something saying this guy had a Steam account. Steam is an online gaming account that you can buy games and have them in your Steam account, and then you can access them through your computer. It's like having a cloud for games. And he had posted up comments in his Steam account basically insinuating that it was going to be prime time for him pretty soon. You know, he was being vague, but now you can look at it in retrospect. Now you know what he was talking about. And when I went to go verify that, there were like 333 pages of 10 accounts long with that guy's name on it, and it's all the same two pictures that you see of him with long hair and with short hair, which means that all those accounts were created after the fact. But the FBI has actually gone to his Steam account and found his posting. So, you know, good on that. They haven't figured out his motivation.
I had heard something yesterday that the FBI that they were starting to walk back on that. They think that posting may have been faked. I don't, like I said, I didn't read a story or anything on it, but I heard something that they were talking about they were walking that back a little bit.
Well,
so I don't want to spread any misinformation.
All I can say is the FBI has his phones, they have his computers, they'll have his passwords, and which means they will have access to, if he posted something on Steam, they will have the authentic account and not the fake duplicate phishing accounts.
Agreed.
They will have that information. Now, reporting still has this as an enigma because apparently this kid didn't talk politics much with people. So really, let's go looking into it. I don't remember much of the reading I did a few days ago on him, other than I had like the 7 of Cups, and you know, what do you know? You have a shooter who's kind of random and crazy. I think the other thing I heard that was released to like the Senate was that he had done searches on Trump and Trump rallies and Biden rallies. Mm-hmm. So I think unfortunately for Trump, he was closer and came first.
Yeah.
If Biden was having a rally that same day in Pennsylvania and Trump wasn't, it would be Biden we would be talking about, and not Trump. Mm. That's my guess. This guy, you know, political leaning society, I think he was more interested in taking out a president or a former president and making the history books that way, rather than dealing with whatever he needed to deal with.
But we're going to look at the cards and see what Spirit tells us for entertainment purposes only.
I was like, come on down. Let's see what we can dive down. What can you tell me about Thomas Matthew Crooks and his motivations for taking an AR-15 to a rally and shooting at a political candidate? Again, entertainment purposes only. The Emperor, the feeling of power and control. Now, does that mean that he's worried about Trump being a dictator, or is this his own feeling of power and control? Like, you know, for once, nobody's bullying. They just described it as being bullied. And I guess in this point, you're now the person in control. You're the man with the gun, and people have to do what you tell them to do. Cross with the Page of Wands. Yeah. This is, oh God.
Good Lord. Oh, jeez.
It's just it's like toxic masculinity. It's taking that bullying and snapping and like, I'll show you guys, you know, I'm not going to take this lying down. I'm going to be the guy in charge. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take some actions, and you know, I'm going to be the boss. And you know, his motivations underneath it were terrible. This wasn't God, now I'm not remembering the movie. It was a Stephen King movie where a guy could see the future and he takes a shot at a political candidate who holds up a
in the
baby.
comments.
Who holds up a baby in front of him, and he doesn't assassinate the guy, but because the guy holds a baby in front of him as a human shield, he loses the election. It's that sort of thing where his motivations are, in this case, his motivations are terrible on this. Whether it's because he was bullied or he wants to be famous, it was really low energy stuff here. In the past, I got the Queen of Wands. Dare I say a mama's boy? I mean,
is the Dead Zone?
Yeah, it was the Dead Zone. Thank you for looking it up.
Sure.
In the past, I got the Queen of Wands. I don't know if he's a mama's. There was some speculation that some people were talking to him. But there's a woman or a feminine type energy that had influence over him. What was he thinking? Why did he do this? Three of Wands. He was just waiting. And again, I think the only reason why he took a shot at Trump is Trump's boat came in first. Who was the most convenient person to go after? And Trump was 35 miles away from his house, less than 50 miles away from his house, half an hour to an hour drive. It was just too convenient. Overarching energy, yeah. Nobody was going to mock him anymore. Nobody was going to make fun of him. Nobody was going to ridicule him. He was going to be the guy who was going to dictate things to people. He alone would change the course of history. The lesson to be learned: stupid, naive, dumb. Just this overly simplistic viewpoint and based on emotions. All these emotions here. He was going to show all those people who probably called him a loser and a dweeb and a twerp and whatever, insinuate
your favorite derogatory, emasculating adjective.
Exactly. Insert those there. He was gonna show all of them. He will be more famous than they will ever be. But again, for all the wrong reasons. And the outcome is the Five of Wands. Yeah, and now look at the turmoil that's come out of this. Mm-hmm. In some ways, one of the silver linings of this that have come out of it is that there's been a call from multiple sources to bring down the rhetoric, bring down the energy so that we don't get to that boil over point where candidates are getting shot at. But it's funny, Trump lasted about, 24 hours before
about 20 minutes. I heard about 20 to 30 minutes into his acceptance speech before he decided that it was time to stop being pretending to be a statesman.
Yeah, and unifying the people. But even before that, posting up about the socialist, leftist, communist, fascists, whatever ists that he can associate with the Democrats.
Yeah. Do you think that Queen of Wands could have been like being rejected by women in the past?
It's possible.
Or female motivated,
whether it's rejected by women, being a mama's boy, or if some woman had some influence on him or said something to him that was the final straw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was thinking about the guy that shot Reagan.
John Hinckley, I think John Hinckley is his name.
Yeah, Hinckley. Yeah, Chapman was the one that did Lennon, but Hinckley was trying to impress Jodie Foster.
Exactly.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a political motivation. He was trying to impress a woman. Look at me. Look how famous I am. You want me to throw on that?
Yeah. Or you want to ask a different question and throw on it?
Well, let's ask a different question then. Because I think you've you've circled the wagons around that. I don't think I'm going to add a lot of clarity. Okay.
This this
one of our
silence is
yeah, exactly.
compelling.
I mean, one of the things that obviously you could tell we really scripted this out before we started.
Yes, tight run ship here.
Indeed. We always do readings on the energy of the person, but I'm kind of wondering if that's the same sort of thing as motivation.
Sure.
In that case. So once again, if we do energy around Thomas Crooks, it's kind of the same reading that you just did. How about did he actually expect to get away with this? Like walk away?
Well, he had a lot of improvised explosive devices in his car and on his person.
Yeah, well, he had one in his house and one in his car. But was that meant to be a diversion to get people looking, one way while I went out the other way? Of course, if you blow up the car you came in, how are you going to get home? I think we're back to that that Six of Cups card.
I would just say he had no intention of surviving this. That's
okay. Why don't we just ask? Did he have an intention of surviving it?
You gonna throw it?
All right, here we go. Yeah. Did Thomas Crooks have an intention of actually surviving this?
I wonder what the blow oneself up card looks like.
Let's see, got these. We start with the Empress. So this is all about abundance and wealth and health and all sorts of it's usually a fertility card, but
and you should probably also what would be a couple quick negative low energy.
Low energy. You don't have anything. You've got nothing to show for yourself. You're completely an emotional wreck, and you don't have anything going on.
Yeah, it's also lazy and entitled. But I think to me, the low energy is the way to go with this, because I think what you're about to get is why did he feel like he didn't have to survive this?
Yeah.
Why? Because he had nothing. Look, do you have anything to lose? It's like this kid had no hope. I've got nothing. I got nothing to lose.
Cross with Temperance. That's an interesting card to cross with. I mean, because Temperance is all about balance, and let's pull it down a little bit. It's all about balance, and you're taking your emotions, and I wonder if this kid really had some sort of problem with manic depression, because I've known people that have had manic depression that was undiagnosed, because this was back back in the 90s, where someone had described her husband as he's either really up or really down.
Yeah.
And that's like the classic manic depressant, right? It's the good times are really good and the bad times are really, really bad, and this big swings. And I kind of wonder if he was struggling with some sort of mental illness that was causing him to feel like some days he's got everything going for him and some days he's got nothing to show for himself.
Are you familiar with his psychological background at all?
I've heard there was speculation, but I have not really read anything about this kid.
Okay, so I think that was one of the things reported to the Senate, was that he had just been diagnosed with a depressive, some form of depression.
Yeah, I think I had heard that he had done a Google search, or he had done some sort of search on depression.
And there was a search on it too.
But that, whether he actually got diagnosed or not, I have not heard that.
Okay.
The underlying energy is
your diagnosis.
Yeah. Oh, son, we got some good news and some bad news. So you got this.
Who am I talking to today?
Yeah, the Three of Pentacles. You've got the upside and the downside, or the downside and the upside, depending on how you want to do this. But underlying it all is kind of this apprentice. This is someone who's kind of collaborating with others. This could be, like Dave was just saying, it could be talking to the doctors. It could be collaborating with the parents. It could be collaborating with third parties that we have not yet heard anything about. But, there was underneath this, there was some collaborations. There was discussions being had that were out of the view of people.
I think that's just his mental. I think that's his depression right there. That's that underlying thing. driving it all.
In the past, you got the King of Pentacles. Pentacles are about health, wealth, and things of value. So in the past, he had, I guess, either he or the family had a lot of good things going. He was in school, doing well in school. He got some sort of scholarship. The future was looking bright.
Maybe he was the bowling king.
Could be.
I think he's a king bowler. We'll go with that.
The current situation. These are actually some good cars. What was going on with this kid? So the current situation was 9 of Cups, hopes, wishes, and dreams fulfilled. So he was trying to accomplish something with. So I'm going to pull this stuff down so I can get room at the top here. There was something that was motivating him, and there was something that of value here that he felt if he accomplished this, he was going to achieve whatever goal he had set.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is necessarily answering if he was planning on surviving this or not, but he was definitely gonna get what he wanted out of this.
Yep.
The overarching energy, the five of wands,
which was my outcome card.
Yep. So the overarching energy, what was the motivation that we saw is the chaos that derived from doing this. Whether it was the scramble on stage, it was the media trying to figure out what the hell's going on, the FBI trying to figure out what the hell's going on, the Republicans blaming Biden and the Democrats for this because they felt it had to. How could it not be Biden exercising his newly found, kingly powers that the Supreme Court gave him? It threw just everything into chaos. Look at the Democrat Party right now. They want Biden to step down because he gave a bad speech, and the Republicans seem to have rallied around Trump, and the Democrats are nervous about it because Biden isn't doing quite as well in the polls, and that probably caused some of the chaos in the Democratic Party because they knew there would probably be a poll bump for Trump from this. The lesson to be learned. 8 of Swords. That's an appropriate card. The 8 of Swords is, I guess, Crook felt like there was no way out of this.
Yeah.
Given his emotional state, that this was what he felt he needed to do to achieve his goals and his wishes, and that maybe coming out alive just wasn't what he it wasn't in the cards for him, if you pardon the pun. He didn't see a way out. The rest of us could totally see a way out, but the rest of us would have taken the blindfold off and taken off these little wraps and said, oh yeah, we could totally walk away from this. We don't have to do this.
Right. It's almost like he was sick, and rather than deal with the fact that he's got some mental illness that involves depression and doing medication and dealing with it, I'm just going to end my life and go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory, and everyone's going to go.
And even those 2 idiot twins who do tarot readings will be talking about me.
Yes.
After I've done this.
And then the outcome is the 5 of Cups, sorrow. If he thought, it's kind of interesting because if he thought he was going to get away with it, he certainly was not happy with what the outcome of this was. And it might have been one of those things where after he pulled that trigger, it was like that, holy crap, what did I just do moment.
I don't think he didn't have much time to consider that because
it doesn't take much time for that. The what I'm going to call the pucker factor. When you screwed up really bad, and there's a certain part of your anatomy that puckers.
Your sphincter?
Yeah, I think he pulled that trigger a couple times. The pucker factor kicked in, and that was probably his last thought.
Yeah, I believe he got 3 shots off. Trump ducked down, and then pretty much the snipers took him out, or somebody took him out at that point. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like the disappointment might be, I don't think I got, it's like 3 shots down. There were 2 shots left, type of thing. I'm sure he could have. I'm sure he had more than that.
You may be onto something there. I mean, the disappointment may be he didn't get off the whole mag. He wanted that whole magazine emptied.
And certainly, he didn't get his target.
No,
he killed 3. He killed 1 other person, injured 2 others, but he didn't get the 2 cups ups that are left standing up. Trump, Biden.
Yep.
3 other people got knocked down.
Yeah.
I'm sure their families will remember this guy.
Yeah, that's certainly not how I would want to be remembered, but I think sometimes people just there's a naivete that there's people who don't understand the difference between being famous and being infamous.
Yeah.
And this could be that same situation.
Well, not only that, think about, okay, great. You took the shot, you got popped, you're dead. Your family has to deal with all the fallout of this, idiot. And that
could be the sorrow card too, is realizing that I've just unloaded all of this onto my family.
You had the Empress card in there, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's that selfish. That selfish entitlement. It's such an entitlement.
If you read that negative energy, right?
Yeah, it's selfish, entitled thing to do. Yeah, great. He took the shot. Who has to deal with the fallout? Not him.
Yeah.
His family has to deal with the fallout. Not only did they lose a son, or a sibling, or a nephew, or anything along those lines, but then you've got the FBI showing up at your house. You got the media hanging around. You've got all the MAGA supporters who want to firebomb your house, and you've got all this hatred and anger dumping down on your family.
Yeah, that could also be the chaos card too, right? That 5 of Wands.
Sure.
You just completely unloaded this. Talk about having your whole world turned upside down and shaken violently.
Yeah.
I mean, as a parent, I mean, think about if your kid had done this.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I would be absolutely mortified. I mean, you can't even mourn for your own damn kid.
Yeah.
Because you got everyone and their uncle all over your ass, asking questions and trying to dig into stuff. You don't even have time to mourn. Yeah. You're disappointed, you're sad, and you've lost your damn kid. And you don't have 3 seconds to yourself to actually mourn this. Yeah. And you have to try and make sense of it while being investigated and having people, saying all sorts of mean comments about your kid, your family on the internet or in person. I mean, I can't even imagine what his family's going through right now.
Yeah. Well, as we all know, he was a liberal that registered as a Republican, so that
because he donated $15 to Act Blue when he was 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he lost a bet. And
that may be. I mean, it totally may be. Or maybe he was just trying to impress some person and by donating to their favorite cause, right?
Yeah.
There was also some misinformation that some 69-year-old guy with the same name was the one that actually donated it.
Somebody did a search, and there was a Thomas Crook who lived in Pittsburgh, which would match the city name, but the zip code on the form aligns with Bethel Park, where this kid grew up.
Yeah. So basically, Snopes has debunked that. So,
if you trust Snopes these days.
Yes, indeed. So I have put that on several posts. It wasn't a 69-year-old. It does appear to be the actual shooter did the donation.
Yeah.
Well, and why he did it, we'll never know.
Sure. Yeah. It happens when you kill him as opposed to taking him alive.
Okay. Do you want to throw anything more on this?
No. I don't like this kid's energy. I don't want to be around it.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the parents. I'm sorry for the extended family. I mean, you guys didn't do anything wrong, unless
Or-
of course you're the ones that put him up to it, and gave him the gun and the bullets and the map how to get there, and told him to go out the door and have fun, kid. Other than that, no.
I think if that was the case, they'd have him aiming at the other candidate.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Given their political leanings, they would have him aiming at the other candidate.
yes, indeed. So I feel sorry for that family.
Yeah.
I hope you have time to mourn at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching this video and supporting our channel. We appreciate it.
Yes, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Boy, we left that on a down note, didn't we? All right. And please don't read cards like my brother.
Don't read cards like my brother. We'll catch you on the next video.
Have a great day, folks.
Take care.
Bye.